Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see how to use Amazon MQ with MuleSoft. We will cover these topics: creating an AWS account, creating active MQ broker, and configuring the security groups for that broker, and publishing and consuming messages with various configurations. So the first question is, what is Amazon MQ? It is a managed message broker service, and it supports both Apache ActiveMQ and RabbitMQ. In this tutorial, we are going to experiment with Apache ActiveMQ. Amazon MQ makes it easy to set up and operate message brokers on AWS, as we are going to see in this demo. Amazon MQ reduces your operational responsibilities by managing the provisioning, setting up and down, increasing the clusters based on the requirement, and maintenance of message brokers for you. So if you need high throughput and low latency, Amazon MQ is a good option. And if you don't have an Amazon account already, they give 750 free hours, but you have to make sure the instance you choose are either T2 micro or T3 micro, and it should be also a single instance. We will see this one. We'll see how to create an instance and select the create an account and select the right instance, like free instance for demo purposes. So if you don't have an AWS account already, just search Amazon MQ. Search Amazon MQ. As you can see here, it says they give 750 hours free, as you can see. And to create an account, you simply click create an account and then follow the steps. Give root user email address here and an AWS account name here. Then you will verify the email and so on. Just follow the steps. I have an AWS account created already and I have logged in. So let me show you. Just once you log into your account, you just search here Amazon MQ. Since I recently visited it, it shows here. But simply if you search here Amazon MQ, it should show up. So it is this one. So I launch it. So it says here Amazon MQ is, as you can see here, it says Amazon MQ is a managed message broker service for Apache ActiveMQ and RabbitMQ. As you can see here, that makes it easy to set up and operate message brokers in the cloud. So you can migrate your messaging and applications without rewriting code. So it supports both Apache ActiveMQ and RabbitMQ. So the first thing we have to do is creating brokers. Let's create Apache ActiveMQ broker. So here, let me delete this thing. Erase them. Okay. So you can choose Apache ActiveMQ here or RabbitMQ. I'll just choose Apache ActiveMQ, experiment with that. Then click next. Here, if you see here, we have this single instance broker. So for this one, creates a broker in a single availability zone. This is suitable for development and testing individually or for production of workloads when connected in a network of brokers. So we will experiment with this one. Okay, select this one. And after that, just click next. This one, mesh network of single instance brokers. We should be fine. Just click next. And give broker name here. So the broker, I will call it MuleSoft. And broker instance type. This one is a free one. You have free 750 hours with this instance. T3 and T2 is what it says. So we have T3 here. Select it. Then give username and password. I will give MuleSoft as username and some password. And next, I'll just click next. And so once I see and check these details, click create broker. So it will create an Apache active MQ broker for us. It says here, it says broker creation takes up to 20 minutes. So your broker configuration can be found on the configuration page. Now it is creating. It will take some time. Let me reload it and see. So as you can see here, this is creation in process, it says, and the broker engine is Apache Active MQ. Deployment mode, this is single instance broker, that is what we chose, and the instance type also is T3 micro. So let me see if I can configure it now. It is still in creation. Let's see. So click here and let me see if there is so once the broker is created, it will give us a web URL and also a broker URL that we can put in MuleSoft itself. So this is still in the process of creation. So in the meantime, until it creates, I want to talk about a couple of things. One thing is we are going to give access to traffic. So there is what is called security groups. So in the security groups, I will give access to my computer. I will add this port. So my computer will have permission to access these portals in my account in the broker. So this is for the web UI, as I am going to show, and this one is the port in MuleSoft. So if I don't add this in the security groups, if I don't give my laptop access to the broker in AWS account, then it will be blocked, and I cannot. MuleSoft in my laptop cannot communicate with it. So this is for the web UI. If I don't add this to the security groups, then the web UI will not basically open in the browser. But if I add this, what I'm saying is my computer will have access to that web UI. And the other things that we are going to experiment with are the queues and topics. So when we say queue, the consumer is one. Even if there are multiple producers, as you can see here, then the consumer is one. Once it is consumed, that message will be lost. Whereas in topics, we can have multiple producers and multiple consumers. So with topic, we can have multiple producers and multiple consumers, whereas with queues, we can have one or more producers, and the consumer is one. So yeah, one is, let's see if the broker has been created already. So it says still creation in progress. Yep, I see the security groups now, so I can click that and give my computer's IP, go to inbound rules and edit it. So go here, edit inbound rules, add rule. This one is simply custom TCP. The port range, actually we have this one and this one already, but if you don't have them, what you do is, let me list this. I think this is because I tested before, so the security group was already saved there. So what you do is you just click add rule. This is custom TCP. In the port range, you put these two port numbers. So this one, bring it was here. Port range is this one. and here we select my IP. So my IP will have access to this port. This is my IP. Add rule again for the other one, which is this one. Bring it and paste it here, and make it my IP so that it is accessible only to my from my computer. So save result is this one. Yeah, this one should not be 0. This one I don't need it. I just need only the two IPs, 8162 for the web UI and 61617 to use it with MuleSoft. So click save. Now let's get back to the broker. Okay, what is here is the broker. So creation in progress still, but if we click here, we should be able to see, it will show us here, it will show us the web UI in the broker URL. And yeah, the other thing is here you can see it says to be able to access your broker's active MQ web console URL or wire level protocol endpoints. This one we will use it with in MuleSoft Endpoint Studio. This one is just to open the web console URL. You must configure one of your security groups to allow inbound traffic. So that is what we did. When you add the security groups to the port numbers and give access to some specific IPs, then those IPs will be able to access the broker, both the wire level protocol and the web console URLs based on the IP added. Okay, so now, okay, until this gate is created, I will create a MuleSoft project. Let's come here and create a new project. I will call it Amazon MQ. So what we are going to do is in the first step, let's first publish data there, and then we'll have a consumer that gets the data from there and inserts it to a database. So I can add another one here. Just right click, new, and new configuration file, and call it insert to database. So this one assumes this is organization A or company A publishes data to Amazon MQ, and another organization consumes that data. So here, what we are going to do is we will send the data to publish data. Let's use an HTTP listener. We will send the data from Postman. For example, just bring HTTP listener and let's make the path send. Next is the default configuration. Now, what we have to add the module, JMS module. So we use the JMS module here. Just drag and drop it here. So we want to publish. So publish here. Under publish, we have to specify the configuration. So there is connector configuration here, destination, destination type, and content type. These ones we are going to experiment today. Priority and persistent delivery. We will experiment with these ones and what they are one by one. And in the second one, in this one, so this is a consumer. So we can use either a scheduler that triggers the flow every at regular intervals, or under JMS we have also JMS listener, which is on new message. So if there is a new message, this will trigger the flow. Just drag and drop this one. Then I said I want to insert the data to a database. So add database module. I'll just go with the most recent version. Then from the database module, I just need the, let's say, data will come in bulk. So I can use bulk insert, bulk bulk insert is this one. And in the bulk insert, let me create the configuration. So I have configuration file. Since I have workbench here, and I have the credentials in configure somewhere in configuration file. I will search it and bring it here. So it should be here. So copy it from here and paste it under my current project. Paste. Once it pastes it, I will close this project since I don't need it. Close project. Now if you go here, I have this file and the config.yaml. I have for my SQL, I have the host, password, user, database, and port, and so on. So I can create the database configuration, connection configuration. So if I simply come here, go global elements, click create, connector configuration, database config. Then in here, this is my SQL. And connection, under connection, I choose my SQL connection. And for the JDBC driver, you simply click configure and add Maven dependency. So it will download. Once you click finish, it will download and install the required dependency. Then in here, what I do is to use the configuration, the connection credentials in the config file. I do $, curly braces, my SQL dot, this one is host. This is my SQL dot port. And here is my SQL dot user. And here is my SQL dot password. And here is my SQL dot dbase. These are the credentials that I specified in the config file here. And also the other thing is in here, you have to go here and create global configurations and specify the configuration properties. So our configuration properties are in that config.yaml file, which is this one. So this is our configuration properties in that file. Now I can come to test this database configuration if it can successfully connect to my SQL. Test connection. Okay, connection is successful. So okay, so now in the insert DB here I can come and from this drop down select my SQL database config, and the data that we are going to send from Postman to be published to Amazon MQ, and then the consumer is going to get it from them and insert it to my SQL. I have airports data that I'm using for this tutorial, which is data. Okay, I have this airports data. It is JSON data. And this data, I will add a description. I will add a link to it in the description section. Is available also in my GitHub repo, which is basically this one. So we will send that data from Postman, and then it will be published to ActiveMQ in Amazon MQ, and then MuleSoft is going to consume it from there, get it from there, and insert it to MySQL database. Now let's check if the broker has been already created. So yeah, this broker is running. See the status. Now it is running Apache MQ, as I said before. Now if I click it, I will see, as you can see, we have the active MQ web console, so I can launch it. So this one is the port number 8162. This is the port number for the active MQ web console. And if you try to launch it and if it doesn't work for you, that means you didn't add this port, you didn't add it to the security group's inbound properties. So launch it. Yep, as you can see, this is the web UI. Here I can click manage active MQ. So this is the URL. So it is in AWS. As you can see here, it is in US East. Now I can click manage active MQ broker, and it asks me for username and password. By default, I think it is admin. Oh no, this is a username and password that I put when I created the broker. So I put MuleSoft. These are the username and password that I put. So when you create the broker, make sure you don't forget your username and password. Okay, perfect. So now you see we don't have any queues and we don't have any topics. So we can create topics and queues either from here or when we publish also from Endpoint Studio. The other thing is in here, where is the broker itself? Let me close this. The broker itself, yes, this one. We need this open wire. This is the broker URL to connect from MuleSoft. So from Endpoint Studio, so select this URL, then come here under publish. In here, it asks me connector configuration. So click add. So here, simply can this configuration to install required libraries, simply click configure and click add Maven dependency and just click finish. Required libraries will be downloaded and installed for you. Perfect. So after that, what I need right now to connect to the broker, AWS broker, the Amazon MQ broker, I need the username and the password and the username. So MuleSoft password means okay. I put my password, and I need the other thing is I need to specify the broker URL. So if you go to factory configuration and click edit inline, it asks you the broker URL. So I put this one, this open wire, just click these two rectangles, it copies it for you, and you bring it and paste it here. So now I can test the configuration. This URL, it has the port number and everything. As you can see, this is a port 1 number that we added in the security group 61617. Test connection. Okay, test connection successful. So now we can publish. Click finish. Okay, in here it asks me for the destination or the topic name or queue name. So as I said, if the topic or queue doesn't exist, it will create it for us, or we can also create it ourselves here. So let's come here and create under topics. Let's create a topic. So here let's call it MuleSoft test. So this is our topic. Create MuleSoft test is here. Then I come here, and that is my destination. And the destination type is a topic, it is not queue. That means many consumers can use it, can consume it. Click save. I think this is enough for the first time. We will see the application type is, as you can see, application, the content type that we are going to send is application JSON. Can specify it. Encoding UTF-8 default, and we are going to experiment with persistent delivery and priority letter. This is enough. Now let's add a logger, and here it just adds a message data published, and so this one is also the listener will be post method. Get into post our default. Even if we don't specify this, it should still work. And to postman, let's add some payloads that will be returned to postman. So here also just payload data published successfully. So this will be returned postman when we send data from postman. Okay, so here let's see. Do we have? I think this default configuration is for now fine. Then let me close this. We have this another consumer that will get data from Amazon MQ and insert it to MySQL. So here we need the configuration, connection configuration is the same thing from the drop down, the one that we created already. The destination is MuleSoft test. So bring it here and put it here. Okay. Inbound content type is application JSON. Number of consumers, the data we have is small based on the data size you have and what compute resources you have and what the extent of computation it needs. This is something that you can specify the number of consumers. For now, let's just make it 1. So we have this, and content type, did I specify inbound? Okay, inbound content type, I have specified it here. This default configuration is enough for now. So after that, I want to insert the data to MySQL, and under this MuleSoft database schema, I will create airports table. So it will have the data is here. So one object, let me show one object for example. One object has, this is information about airports. It has the name, the latitude, longitude, altitude, and time zone. Here I have, yeah, let's create the table. If I run this and refresh the schema, we have this airports table with this column specified in here, but we don't have any data, as you can see. Now we will send data from Postman, and this flow is going to publish it to Amazon MQ, and this one consumer is going to get it from there and insert the data to the database. And to insert the data to the database, I can use this SQL code. So basically insert into airports followed by the column names, and for the values we specify the keys, and from the payload it will get the values corresponding to each key. So these are the column names, just we add colon before each one of them. So this one should be fine. Okay, and now let's add a logger. So add a logger, and here add the message data inserted to database successfully. So we can test this now. So we said this is a publisher, some organization or company publishing, and another company or organization, a subscriber consuming it and inserting the data to their database. So let's run this. Okay, until this gets deployed, let me see what I have in the sliders. So we saw this, we saw about adding the ports to security groups. We saw also the difference between queues and topics. Queues, it can have one or more producers, one or more producers, but the consumer is one. In a queue, the consumer is one. Whereas in topics, the producers can be multiple, the consumers also can be multiple. And we'll come to this one after we first experiment with the default configuration. And let me see if this is deployed. Okay, perfect. Now it is deployed. I can check, go to the path of the listener is sent, go to Postman, and I will add data here. So the data is, it is JSON. This is the airport's data. I'll just send all of it and send it here. So in the Amazon ActiveMQ, this topic MuleSoft test, it doesn't have any message. As you can see, everything here is 0. Okay, so when I send the data from here, it will be consumed from there. It will be consumed from there and inserted to the database. Probably I may even, let me stop this and run it in debug mode so that we can see step by step what is happening. Okay, so I will add in this, I will add breakpoint here, and here also I will add a breakpoint in here and save this and run it in debug mode, because I want to see step by step what is happening. So when we send the data from Postman, we'll see a payload here. Here it will be published. When this publish, it will publish it to Amazon MQ. And when we come under Amazon MQ here, we should see the message. We should see the message. We have to see the message here for that topic. And after that, once the data is inserted to the database, then this will be lost. It will be 0, and we will see the data. We should be able to see when we run this in the MySQL. I should be able to see the data here. Okay, let me see if this is deployed. Okay, so this is deployed. Now I can send the request. Send. What do we see here? Our payload. Our payload is here. As you can see, the data we sent. Now when I click next, it will be published, and I will get in Postman, I will get this payload that the data was published successfully. The logger will also say log to the console that the data has been published if it works successfully. So click next, click next. So you see data published is from this logger. Now when I click next, what we see is, let's see to Postman. In Postman, we get data published successfully here, as you can see. Now, under this, okay, on new message, what we have on new message, why it doesn't trigger it when there is a new message, MuleSoft test. Okay, first let me refresh this and see if there is a new message. So just refresh it, reload it. So you see this one has become 1, so there is one message. This is the message we just published. So if there is a message here in the configuration, I didn't specify the consumer type, so it should be topic. From the drop down here we have topic and queue, as you can see. So this is topic consumer. If I show you here, we have 2 messages here. I sent 2 times and none of them is consumed. In MySQL, no data has been inserted, so the consumer was not able to consume because I didn't specify the consumer type appropriately. So if I come here, let's see if it has been deployed. Okay, this has been deployed. Now let's send again. The number of messages in Amazon MQ will be 3. So if you come here, the publisher will publish it, and after that, as you can see, now the insert DB, the consumer has got the data. That's why we see this payload here. We see the same payload has been grabbed from there. And the bulk insert, once I click next, the data will be inserted to my SQL, and I will see data in my SQL. Right now, I don't have any data. If I run this, no data here. But if I come here and click next, and click next. And then if we come one thing, this one is 3. However, once I reload it, let's see, once I reload it, what happens. Okay, so we see 4. If I click here, let's see them one by one. In the topics, MuleSoft. So number of consumers, we see number of consumer. We see here number of consumers. And I think the rest of the configuration we'll see later. Let's first check if data has been inserted to MySQL. So click. As you can see now, data has been inserted to MySQL. So what happened? What we did here is the publisher in the first flow. I come here. The publisher here sends the data to Amazon MQ, and then the consumer gets the data from there and inserts it to a database. So you can think of these two flows of different companies or different organizations. That's all for this video tutorial. In the next one, we are going to see the different acknowledgement types: automatic acknowledgement, immediate acknowledgement, and manual acknowledgement. And also we will see filtering incoming messages using JMS priority, and we will also discuss persistence and DLQ or dead letter queue.